Jerry with Games Eye 4 here. We're covering the Infinity how to play. We're going to be doing a battle on the starter of this in just a moment. We're going to go over some things that you need to know about Infinity and the things that you will need. One of the things is you'll need models. You will need some models to play Infinity. We suggest you use the Infinity models, but each to their own. If you got to proxy everything, I guess it happens. You'll need some templates. Example, this is a flamethrower template or a nano pulsar template. That'll be something you'll run into. Templates are markers for showing your silhouettes. We'll go over that during the game and a little bit later. You'll need some dice, D20s. These are the ones from the Ice Storm set. You'll need some tokens of various types, mostly order tokens. Now it's got these little arrows to show you their symbols. These are on your sheets to play and everything. We'll cover that in another time. And some sort of tape measure or measurement device. So in Infinity, you're going to build your armies from the Army Builder, which is called Army 7. All right, in Army 7, they'll have your stats. If we look at this model in particular, we're going to go to the stat of movement, which is MOV, and there'll be two numbers there. The first number is what you do on a short skill first, and the second number is if you do it in the second skill. It's the one skill you can repeat twice. So in a regular order, you can give a move and a move. This simulates your model's running. Your next stat is your CC, close combat, and that's your number you need under. The next stat is your ballistic skill, BS. That's the model's number that you'll need under. The next stat is your physical, PH, again, under. The next stat is your willpower, whip, which is, again, under. Then we get to the reverse stats. Next is your armor, arm. Now this number is added to your die roll to beat the damage of a model. The next stat is your biotechnical shield, BTS. Again, this is the number that's added to beat the damage of a weapon that uses BTS. Next is your wounds. It's how many hits you can take before you go unconscious, and once you go negative, your model is eliminated. Exceptions can be in the game. Next stat is your silhouette, which is your size and area you take up in a cylinder. We covered an example of just what a silhouette was at the very beginning when we talked about templates you'll need. Next will be equipment. In particular, these are your basic models. Normally they don't have much in equipment. And next would be special skills. Again, most basic models don't have a lot of special skills. And then weapons. And in this example, you can see that we have a combi rifle as an example of a weapon. So what we have is a 4x4 table that we have taped down to the smaller table size for a 150 point or lower game. It's a 32 by 24 with an 8-inch deployment zone on each side. We are playing the 3 models, so we have 3 orders here, and Jared has 3 orders on his side. I will be playing the Pano, and Jared will be playing the Nomads. And what we start off with first in an Infinity game is your initiative roll. The initiative roll is by your lieutenants. There's no lieutenants in this small battle, so instead we will be rolling just an initiative roll against our 2 sides. I have a 12, and Jared
has a 13.
And as you can see from here, Jared succeeds with the 12, and my 19 just isn't cutting it.
And I'm going to choose to go first.
And as you can see, I'm going to have Jared deploy first, and I'll take this side just because it's convenient with 3 models.
Alright, so I've deployed all 3 of mine are auxils. I've deployed this lady here. She's going to be behind this building. I'm going first, so I'm going to end up moving her, so she doesn't need to be in cover. Jerry won't be able to see her behind the building. This guy, I probably won't end up moving too quickly, so he's behind cover and has a tight angle this way. and then this guy is holding the left flank around the building and to the middle.
I have Fusiliers here for Pano. You see this guy here is going to be on the building. You can kind of see over there and cover that area pretty well. I have this girl here. She's going to try to go up the steps because it's as far as I could get at the time. I'm going to be hidden though from him since he's going first. And this guy here is going to kind of cover this other side. I think you can even see one of his to start off with, which will help slow him down. And he's also got a good angle over here.
Alright, so I'll start off my turn with my order count. Each unit generates a regular order in this scenario. There are other types of orders, but for now I just count how many units I have alive, which is 3, and I generate 3 regular orders, which you'll see here in front of me. I'll start off with moving my female Fusilier, or Alguacil, sorry. She's playing Pano. She'll move up about 3.5 inches and be at the edge of the stairs there.
And I will do an ARO, which is an automatic reaction order from the Fusilier that can see her as she comes around the corner.
So what is your ARO going to be?
It's going to be to shoot.
Alright, and then after I hear his reaction, I will also choose to shoot. However, I am the active player, so I will get 3 shots, whereas Jerry will only get 1 shot. Our next step will be to get the range once we've both determined what we're doing. We are both using combi rifles. Jerry, it looks like we're at about 14 inches.
Both in our good range. So it'll be +3 for both of us. And we're both in cover, so we're going to be -3. So what happens is our basic ballistic skills are going to be used. I'm a 12, and
I am an 11. Pano has a slightly better ballistics.
These are face-to-face rolls, so we take numbers that are successes against numbers that are failures, or also successes. This 13 is a fail all around because it needed an 11. Then we have a 9 and a 3 for the Alguacils, and a 7 for the Fusilier. The 7 is better than the 3, so it goes away. But the 9 is better than the 7 and is also a success, so the 7 goes away, giving 1 success to the Alguacils. This means that the Pano player, me, has to make a roll to save for the Fusilier. In this case, is one time when dice rolls in Infinity are reversed. Normally you need closest to your target number without going over, but you need over the damage on a save. Any save is over. Everything else is under.
We're using combi rifles. The damage for those is 13. Jerry will have to be above a 13 to not take a wound.
I've got a 16, which means I save. Meaning that I also have to make another roll. Because models that are hit and survive, they must take a guts check. And on a guts check, it's just to see if you're going to stay there or try to hide. Now, a guts check is my willpower, which is a 12. I got a 14. He's decided that he needs to hide. I can't get in better cover with this Fusilier. He has to instead go prone. You have to go to better cover if you fail a guts check, or you choose to fail. And that means if you're not in cover, you have to try to get partial cover. And if you're in partial cover, this guy's in partial cover from the other person, you have to get to full cover. I cannot do those 2 things, so I go prone, which means we go to the height of our base whenever you're prone. Jared, what's your second order?
That guy's kind of out of the way, and I can freely move in the middle on the right side at least. Jerry does have a guy over here that can see me. I'm going to activate green-haired guy over here, and he's actually going to move 4 inches this way. I'll ask Jerry what his reaction is.
Since I don't have anyone that can see this model, I have no reaction.
With Jerry not having a reaction, I will choose to move on my second part of my activation. So that would be the second number in your movement value. So it's 4, 4 for these. So I'll move another 4 inches. I think this barrier is tall enough that you don't see over it.
It is a height 5 barrier.
So think I can get to about there. And that'll end the activation of that Alguacil. And I have one remaining order, and that is going to be on that same green-haired guy one more time. I'm going to move 4 inches because I want to see Jerry.
ARO is going to be to shoot.
Alright, and I will also choose to shoot. Unfortunately, Jerry's guy was really dug in the back, so I have to leave cover to be able to see him. But I'll still get 3 bursts to his 1 burst.
This case, I will be +3 with no mod, so instead I will be a 15 to hit Jared.
And I will be +3 from range and -3 from Jerry's cover, so I will still only be on an 11.
My guy missed entirely with a 17. He needed a 15. All successes that Jared has are successes, and he needed an 11, and he rolled an 11. The 13's a miss. The 11 that was there is a crit, and when you have a crit, you have to make an extra save. So in this case, I'll have to make, even though there are 2 hits, I'll have to make 3 saves. Now, the Fusilier is in cover, and we didn't cover this slightly before. Cover gives you a +3 bonus to your save. My armor is 1, so I'll get to add 4 to each of these rolls. And there are 3 rolls to make. And we've got a 17 and 19, obviously beating a 13. But then an 11 +4 is 15. So it also beats the 13 damage. Again, we'll have to make a guts check, which is 1 die with our willpower. Our willpower is 12. And we make a 3. So we can actually stay where we're at. Or we can choose to fail. In this case, we're going to stay here. I think we're in a good position. And Jared spent all his orders for the nomads, which means it's going to be my turn. And everything's alive. So that means I get 3 orders. So our first order is going to be spent. And we'll set this over here when I spend them. And I'm going to stick with this guy that decided to come at me and give him some shooting. Switch around. Because I'm going to fire on this guy. Since he's in the open, this is a perfect opportunity.
And my reaction will be to dodge.
Probably a wise choice in this case.
So for dodging, I'm going to be using my physical. My physical is only 10. That's your pH value on your character sheet. So I'll be on a 10 or less, and Jerry will be firing.
Still on +3 because he's in the open. It'll be a 15 for me. But I get 3 shots because I'm not play. Oh, and a really good dodge for you there, Jared. So here's what happens. That 9 is better than my 6 and 7. So he dodged my 6 and 7. My 15, though, is a critical. So the 9 goes away, and Jared is going to roll 2 saves versus the combi rifle I have. Again, damage 13, but you're in the open.
So I'll only have the 1 armor that my guy is wearing. And unlike Jerry's saves, which were ridiculous, I only have a 5 and a 9 after I add my armor. So I would actually take 2 wounds, which my model is only 1 wound. So he goes straight to unconscious and then to dead. So he will be removed from the table, and his order will be lost.
So my second order, I'm actually going to activate this guy that is doing well, and he's actually going to also move across here. I'm going to take a little risk, though, because I think I got a long-range shot from Jared's guy over here. Jared, do you have a shot on that guy?
I certainly do. My Alguacil right here can see over these smaller barriers and straight to you.
I'll choose to fire, of course. Yeah. I'm going to dodge in this case, hoping that you're in long range. So we're going to check the range here. And it looks like, yeah, we're at 18, almost 19 inches. So definitely in our long range, the combi rifle is only good up to 16 inches range. After that, it becomes a -3 all the way to 32. To give you an idea, if I had shot at Jared, this would be -3 for range, -3 for his cover. So I'd be looking for a 6. While he's going to be shooting at me, needing -3 for range, but I got no cover. So he would be an 8.
So Jerry's chosen to dodge, so he'll just be using his pH value,
which is a big old 10.
And I will get 1 shot, and I'll be -3 from range only, so I'll be needing an 8.
It rolled over. But we both failed, so nothing happened. But I succeeded in getting where I was moving to. I'm going to spend my last order with the same guy. And what we're going to do is we're just going to move up to this corner. I'm already seen by Jared, so it doesn't matter. So I'm just moving up to the corner to get to cover. So eventually I'll be better at moving stuff.
And I will choose to fire one more time before you get into that cover.
I do believe we're still at long range.
Keep in mind, I can react to any point I see Jerry during his movement, so I would react near the beginning when he's out of his cover.
Correct.
But either way, I'm going to be in bad range for this shot.
I'm going to shoot as my second action. And I will be at long range again, -3 and -3. So I'll be 6s, while Jared's going to be shooting me on 8s. Well, I rolled everything over, and Jared gets
an 8,
which is a critical.
So Jerry will have to make 2 saves again. Criticals force you to make an additional save in addition to a normal hit.
And in this case, I will get my armor, and that's all because I was in the open when Jared chose to shoot me. But 14 and 18 both beat a 13. And Jared feels cheated now because he definitely wanted to kill me.
I have crit you twice and not killed you.
I will also have to make a guts check because I did take a hit and survive. And I fail this time. So my choices are, I can go prone where I'm at, but I'm forced to move to better cover. So I will move around the corner, and 2-inch move is what you make from a guts check, and I moved around the corner where nothing can be seen by the guy that shot at me. And that was my last order. I spent all 3, so it's Jared's turn. And I think you have a change, Jared.
Yep. So I did not make save. So I lost a guy, so I will only have 2 orders, and this guy will sit on his to remind us that we don't have him. Jerry is failing guts checks, but making all his armor saves, so he's yet again hidden. So I'm just going to try to move up and try to get in better spots for next time.
My difficulty here is that I have no one that can react to anything you do until you get much, much closer.
So I'll move 4 inches from barrier to barrier there. Jerry doesn't have any reactions, as we already know, so I'll just continue moving. He'll hop this and just in front of that other barrier.
I still have no reaction.
I'll spin my other order. I think he's going to come around the barrier. I want to make sure I have cover, of course, so I'll be touching it. Jerry does not have a reaction to that.
I do not have a reaction because I cannot see you.
And I wish to move no further because I would have to end with no cover out in the middle somewhere. So I'm going to idle on my second half.
Yes,
it just means I don't move.
Yeah, a good change in this edition is any kind of cover that you're touching that conceals any part of your base is cover. And you get the -3 or the +3 to armor.
So I pass it back to Jerry for his second turn.
And I again have 3 orders. I'm going to out-order Jared just a little bit here, but we'll see what we can do. One of our first orders, we're going to spend this order, and what we'll do is take this prone marker off this guy, and he's going to stand up. Switching over to Jared has a reaction to that.
Are you just standing up, or are you going to do any movement?
I'm just going to stand up.
Alright, well, I will have 2 people that can react to that. Both my remaining Auxils. And I know she's not going to be in the most amazing range. But they're both going to fire regardless, because I have 2 shots, you're going to have 3 shots across 2 of them.
What we'll change over to here then, and for my shooting is, I'm going to put a shot into each of them. They are both in cover, and I'm going to put 2 shots on the guy in the center. Because I have burst 3, I can split it how I want, and I'm going to have 1 on her and 2 on him. We're going to check the range now, because you're shooting also. We got 14 there and 12 there, definitely in the good range of 16 for the combi rifle. So on this roll, we will both be in cover. We will both be in our good range. So we're going to be on our skills, except for these 2 will have a face-to-face roll of 1 die each, and these 2 will have a face-to-face roll of 1 for him and 2 for him.
Yep, sounds good to me.
So we're going to do our first face-to-face roll with the 1 versus 1. And the Pano guy gets a 1, and the Nomad gets a 20, so the Pano hits, and they'll need to make a save. We'll do our saves here at the end. We're going to do the other roll of to hits. And in this case, the Nomad gets a hit with an 8. The Pano misses with a 16, but the Pano also gets an 8. So it's a wash, nothing happens there. We're going to go back to the girl, Augustil, and she will need to make a save, getting an armor bonus of 3 for cover, and an armor of 1 for her armor. Getting a 17 and making it like a champ.
Finally made one. So then I'll have to roll a guts check because I've been hit and survived. My willpower is 13, a little higher than Jerry's. And she will fail with a 14 regardless. So I don't think 2 inches gets her full cover, but maybe it does. So she'll move 2 inches this way. And I think due to the angle, you probably won't see me anymore.
I do believe you're completely hidden from that model now.
Okay. Alright.
So we'll go to our second order. Oh, the second order, I'm going to get my model that does not participate in the game a little bit of motion here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up 4 here. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Now, you may want to check this one, but I do believe, I think we may see each other just a little bit. And here's a question where this actually comes into play. We're going to grab, there are silhouettes released with the game itself, but we like to use ones from Warsenal. And we'll just double check that and see if we can see that silhouette.
You got a better angle than me,
I think I do see your silhouette because of the elevation. So in this particular case, any elevation counts as cover for a model. So my model is actually in cover. And so is his because I can't see all of it. So going to shooting solution on this because you're shooting at me and I'm shooting at you.
Yep. And we're at the range here.
Yeah, we're
in good range.
Yeah, we're in
9
inches-ish.
Yep.
So we're both +3 and we're both -3. And I get 3 dice to his 1. So I will need 12s and Jared will need 11s. My 20 misses. And my 3 is beaten by his 5. But my 10 beats his 5. So I do 1 hit on Jared. He's going to need a save. He's going to get +3 for cover, +1 for his armor, and needs to beat a 13. Seven plus 4
will not do it because that's 11.
That's 11.
So I will put an unconscious marker next to him because he has taken a wound. And he's a 1 wound model, so he would be unconscious. In a normal game, we might have paramedics or doctors that could get him up, but not in this game that we're playing.
So when models go unconscious, they actually stay in the position they are. You don't lay them down or anything. The reason being that that moves their position. Your position can make a difference when you're unconscious because models can bring you back. You are the height of your base. For a second option, the unconscious marker is left out there to show where you are and that you're the height of your base. For my last order, we're going to activate this Fusilier over here again, 4 inches, and we're going to actually move up to this edge and slide along the edge. We're going to demonstrate that. That was 4, showing that we can, I believe, see this other alguazil.
I will shoot because I have nothing left.
True. I'm actually going to shoot at you. I'm a little bit in an advantage, it seems, this game. This doesn't happen very often, so I'm relishing in it. 3 shots, again from cover needing 12s, and you again have 1 shot needing 11s. Jared gets a 2. I get a 1, a 14, and 11. My 11 beats his 2, his 2 beats my 1, so I get 1 hit. Jared makes 1 save, getting the 4 bonus for cover and armor to beat a 13. Getting a 1. And Jared is unconscious. In turn 2, this game has really actually already ended. The Fusiliers dominated the field this time, having Jared completely unconscious or dead at the end of, or at the beginning of his turn 3. That's the game.
This feels wrong.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching our show. If you want to help us grow, click the like and subscribe buttons below.